Hey, what's shaking, homies? So I get the question all the time, what's your favorite electric skateboard? Or what's the best electric skateboard? Or what's the best cheap electric skateboard? Well, I've reviewed quite a few electric skateboards. I brought all the ones I have with me right now. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different electric skateboards, varying in price ranges all over the place. I'll tell you all the pros and cons to each one. So this is gonna be kind of like a buyer's guide, 2018, almost end of 2018, so beginning of 2019, I guess too. I'm gonna continue to review these. So, but I got them all laid out from the order of oldest to newest, like the first board I ever reviewed all the way up, okay, to the newest ones I got. So I'm just gonna go through and talk about each one, talk about the price, the specs, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. If you want to watch clips of me riding any of these boards, I've done a review on every single one of these boards, so you can check them out there. But let's start off. I'm going to start off at the Teemo board all the way at the end, the original Teemo board, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so starting off here, this is the original Teemo board. Okay, now this is made by Kirian eBoard, and they've came out with many other models. This was like the first cheap, affordable electric skateboard, and this guy kind of changed the game. He was kind of making these like DIY, and then, you know, but like on a large scale. So it was kind of like a DIY board on a large scale. The board, the shape, I don't really like it. It's kind of like the opposite of concave. It's like convex. It like comes up a little, but it does have a little bit of a flex to it, so it's not bad. The wheels are really nice. The bushing's broken great. It's got the really generic remote that a lot of electric skateboards use, so really cheap. At the time when this came out, I think this one was $200, and then it was like $100 or something to get it shipped to the USA, so it would cost you like $300. But extremely affordable. At the time, there was nothing cheaper than like 500 bucks. So really, really great option. The specs, it gets like, you know, it gets fast. You can get like 25 miles an hour on this thing, about 12-mile range, so very decent. A lot of these are gonna have very similar specs. But yeah, it's got everything's waterproof too on here. It's got a really standard charger. Most of mine actually all use the same chargers, so very common AC power cord. But yeah, all around nice board, very reliable. I've never had any problems with the remote. Next, I got the Cool Wheel Onyx DM3, the original Cool Wheel Onyx. Now, this board is really cool because it's got like LED lights as indicators to tell you how much battery you got left. I could probably turn that on for you to show you that. Let's see. Okay, let's fire the board up. And it's fully charged up. So all 4 lights are on right there. But very, very reliable board. On the slightly slower mode, so this board only really has one mode. To make it go faster, it's like a secret. You have to turn it off, and you have to click in the power button 7 times, and then it will go even faster. The normal mode goes like 20 miles an hour. The faster mode goes like 25 miles an hour. If you keep it on the other mode, it's just 20, which is like plenty fast, especially for cruising. You can literally get over 20 miles with this thing. It's definitely my best range. I've put more miles on this board than any other one. I've had it the longest. Just because the range was so good, I used to take this thing, just like drain the battery all the time. It does actually have a swappable battery, so if you want to go even farther, which I don't really think you will, because the one downside to this board is it's very stiff, because the battery, just where the battery is, it's a very stiff board, so you need like a good pair of skateboard shoes, or you need to put some like Dr. Scholl's or some FP insoles in your shoes to absorb some of that. Otherwise, at over 10 miles, your feet are gonna hurt too bad and you're gonna have to stop. So it is kind of a bumpy ride. If you're somebody that's a skateboarder that doesn't longboard, that's never felt like a flex board, you'll really like this. I came from a skateboarding background. I never stepped on a longboard till it was an electric longboard, and I don't really like the flex that much. I do like it as far as absorbing impact, but the overall ride, you know, I'm not that much. This one, I believe it was like around, well, you can get the newer model for like $650. I think this one's like $400-ish, $350 if you can pick those up. But now they got the newer model, so we'll get into that later. Okay, next I got the most expensive board in my collection. This is the Huger Tech Racer. Okay, so Huger sent me this for a video review. I did all the review on it. They actually asked me to make 2 videos, which is kind of a pain, and they were kind of pissing me off, and he wouldn't stop calling me, and he was really annoying me. But besides that, this was like a Kickstarter, and this board has had a lot of promises. It's without a doubt my fastest board. It goes like 30 miles an hour. I got it like 31 one time. But it is so freaking dangerous. Like, now they have an app for this one, so you can actually control it with the app. On the remote, it's actually got like See, does this got any juice? Can I turn it on? It actually has a, I think I turned it on with the remote on this board. Horn, and you can change the different horn sounds just on the app. It's really cool. You hear that? I just got like the bell ringing. And the remote's really cool. It's really big though, so that's like the one downside. Oh, I forgot to talk about the Cool Wheel remote. Cool remote's, let me grab that. The Cool remote's complete opposite. It's like too small, but it's not that bad actually. I like it because it's different. I don't have any other boards that use this remote, which is nice. Yeah, they sent 2 of it with it, so you get 2 of the remotes. But back to the HugerTech, yeah, this remote's really bulky and big, but other than that, it looks pretty cool. The problems I have with the board is, one, this is a really stiff board, so just like the Cool Wheel, but because how the battery is, but it is really heavy. They have all these LED lights, which are cool. They even have like turn signals on it, and you can turn them on and off just with the remote. But it sits too high off the ground, and because it's so powerful, this is like, if you're a beginner, you will break your arm, leg, neck, something on this board. So you cannot ride this board if you're a beginner. And it's at $1,200. Even at the like beginner mode on this board, it's too fast. Like this board was, the company was like, we just want to make something faster than the booster board and just make the fastest board possible. And they did that, but it is too much torque. With the app, you can actually turn the torque up or down, which is good. But, you know, not knowing that, you know, just straight out of the box, it's too crazy. This was actually a prototype, so it might be different. Very high quality board, really nice. My one crazy friend Gus, this is his favorite board because it's so fast. Okay, next, my second fastest board, the Teemo Board. I got this one to like 28 miles an hour, but it uses that same generic remote as the Meepo board. So it's just, you know, and all the parts on this seem like really cheap parts, but this thing performs great, and it has a concave to the deck itself. The deck is nice and flexible. But the one downside is, this is the only board I have that I have connection issues. Not where the remote will unpair, but it'll like stop, like it'll like pulse. And I've almost fallen off like a couple times. My buddies have almost fallen off a couple times. So this board, they need to do something with the remote issue. Also too, this board is $389 right now. Like I said, the HugerTech is $1,200, and this one only goes a couple miles slower. So if you are somebody that you just want speed, I would get this one. But if you have any remote issues, I would email the company and get them to send you a new remote, which I might have to do, because everyone else I know that has this board doesn't have that problem, but I definitely have some. Okay, now we got a very similar board. It came out at like the same time. This is the Viril board. Okay, now this board, I believe this one is like right around the same price, like $389-ish. But this board, it uses a lot of the same parts, like same battery, same, everything looks very similar to the Teemo board, except I hate the grip tape on it. It's like a shingle, you know, I absolutely hate that. I do like how it has a handle. It just makes it easier. You don't have to maul grab it. And it uses that cheap remote that also the Teemo and the Meepo board use. So the only reason I don't like this remote is because I don't like having to keep track of what board goes to what remote and etc. This board actually performs great though. It doesn't go quite as fast as the Teemo board, but I don't have any connection issues. And the one cool thing about this board is, say, okay, when you ruin because you will ruin your back wheels, when you eventually wear them out, you can replace just the urethane. And they send a replacement pair with the board, so you get an extra pair. And yeah, it's really cool, because most boards you have to replace this whole hub motor, which costs a lot more money, and it's a lot more a pain in the ass, and you gotta know how to solder. And yeah, this is just a couple screws, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. You know, so real easy, really cool, and I really like that. It performs great. It's got 3 speed modes, 25 miles an hour. These two both have about 12-mile range. Now here we got the first board that I got in a long time that really, really, really impressed me. This is the YoYo board. Okay, now this board, it's like $400, I guess. I got some notes I wrote down back there for prices and stuff. Yeah, this is about $400, but this board is awesome. It's really, really, really well constructed. It's got a nice flex to it, not crazy. It does have that back, like shingle type of grip tape, which I hate. But the bushings on this are awesome. They handle great. It's got a remote that's not generic like everything else. It's got a different type of throw on it, and the speed modes on this, you have to stop the board completely before you can change it to a different speed mode, which is kind of nice because you won't accidentally hit it and go faster or slower while you're riding, which can cause an accident. So it is a little safer, but the main thing is on this board, it's got by far the best brakes and the best throttle. Like if you hit the gas all the way right away, it won't throw you off. It like I mean, it still gives you a lot of torque, but you know, it doesn't kill you. It gives you like a second where it doesn't go and then it kicks it on. Same with the brake. If you're going 100%, you slam the brake on any of these boards, you're going flying off of it. This one, it'll go like all nice. You can be going full speed, slam the brake and you won't die. Amazing braking. First board I ever had that had brakes like this, and I absolutely love it. Now this is in my top 2 boards. I'm just gonna say that right now. It is tied with the new Cool Wheel. I absolutely love the new Cool Wheel Onyx. It has that same battery. This board performs a little higher, so you do not get quite as far of a range, but the battery is swappable with the old one. So I basically just have 2 batteries for this one, so I can go really far. And this one, they took the same type of thing as the Viril board where you can switch the urethane, and now you can do that as this board is a little pricier. What is it at? It's at $650, okay? But it's only like half as much as the Tech Razor, and I like this board way more. This one, they switched the power cord to just like a normal charger. The other Cool Wheel has like a weird 3-prong charger. It's the only board I have that has it. They just use the standard one here now that you can use with any of your boards. So it's nice because most of my boards, I can just use the same chargers for them. They changed their remote design. It's just overall nicer looking. It's got like a built-in lanyard type thing. It's got a nice like rubbery feel to it. It's really, really good. This board also too has the same as the YoYo. It has amazing braking and amazing torque where you don't get flown off or anything. And this is tied with the YoYo as my favorite boards. They're my most reliable boards. Probably 3rd place would be the original Cool Wheel actually. Then maybe the Viril / Meepo board. And then the Teemo. And lastly, the Tech. It's the most expensive board, but I don't like it. I honestly do not like it at all. And it's the only board that when I got sent, like I always do unbiased reviews, guys. I try to keep these totally honest. The guy from the company, like every time I told him anything about it that I didn't like about it, he was like, okay, well don't say that in the video, say it does this. And he was like what? And then the board, like one time I was riding the board and it completely died on me. Like the range, they advertise like 20 miles range. It can get like 12. And I was like, okay, well I'm gonna take it out for 20 miles. And I was filming it. And then like I got pissed off because I was like stranded in the middle of nowhere and had to push the thing. So I don't really like that board that much, but these are definitely my favorite. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. If you've got any questions, hit me up in the comments, and peace out.